Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the NLC. We're getting ready to go into game number 4 of the day. This is Flung versus London United. London United 2-4 in the standings,
Mm.
Flung 4-2. So far, all of our teams, other than Lucent, who are ahead in this versus the team they're playing, have lost, if that makes sense. So, Munster won, they're ahead of AAB in the standings. Rate beat Lucent. Lucent were actually ahead, but that's the only one. So, we'll use that as a blip on the radar. Let's talk about these teams. London
Hmm.
versus Flung. What are we making of them?
Well, one of these teams I am overwhelmingly favoring. The other one I am, I'll be honest, not so sold on. I'll be honest, Flung look great on paper with the eye test. I actually really like this team. I think they offer a lot of versatility in their pick and ban phase, especially. London United, while they've had brief moments of great success,
Mm.
it's been brief, and I'm not even sure if I really like them. Also, Flung are kind of on an upward trajectory at the moment. London are still struggling to find their footing as a team, so I'm kind of expecting this to kind of follow the trend that we've been seeing from a lot of these matches outside of
Yeah.
that Lucent one.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, to be honest. Did get a win over Lucent, but now we've seen Rate beat Lucent as well. Questions
Mm,
are kind of thrown up: who is strong, who isn't strong. Like I said at the beginning of the day, it did feel to me a little bit like there's not like a clear weakest team in the league, which is nice.
no,
There's definitely a clear strongest in Munster, but we're at that halfway mark. It's still everything to play for. It's still Div 2. Div 2 always goes down to the last week. But yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to pop up in Champs Select because it's interesting to see how Twisted Fate and Corky have had so much attention during
mm,
these champ selects. Obviously, Zeri has had attention as well. That's kind of expected. It's Zeri. She's just really
agreed.
broken
I mean, she's
at the
really good.
moment. But yeah, it has been slightly fascinating to me to see how certain champions have been showing up more in picks and bans than they were over in Div 1. I can still understand why Corky has been showing up a little bit, even though the pack not having packages for every dragon is
Mm.
genuinely really impactful. TF is the interesting one. Obviously, the global pressure and the presence is nice. Um, but his laning phase got gutted, man. Like he really struggles with his trading now.
I'll be honest. I think it all comes down to really the top lane for these two teams as we come
Yeah,
into this match and really set expectations. I think Vangstead, I think is how I pronounce that, and Icy Glay,
yeah,
Glau, Glay.
I think so.
Yeah, we've got we've got
Icy Gale, that's it. Yeah, it's
Icy
Icy
Gale.
Gale.
God, I am got you. The dyslexia's feeling it today, this evening. These are two top laners who absolutely will always coin flip, will keep bashing it. We've seen a lot of top laners bruising it out. I'm feeling especially back to that Gwen, where we're just seeing constant brawling and fighting.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be seeing that, and it's going to be a top lane focus match. Whoever from the top side wins is going to flood the advantage out to the rest. Obviously, jungle is included in that one.
So
I'm
I think
excited.
I'd like to see again. It's the classic. It's the thing we talk about a lot. But that mid jungle synergy. You get a
Mm,
good mid laner who can unlock your jungler. Means your jungler can then put attention towards top lane. Your mid can also put attention towards top lane. So that'd probably be the plan if they're looking to play through that. I mean, realistically,
yes.
if you're playing top or bot, you want a good mid laner, someone who can hold it down solidly there.
Yeah.
You can go for a real classic like the Xin Zhao and LeBlanc lane. Um, that's
And
such a
Renekton
nasty
top, and
1v1.
then you just always do the cookie
Yeah, I
cutter
mean
stuff.
that's a nasty 1v1 no matter what. Well, sorry, 2v2 no matter what. Really powerful skirmishing power. You could just hark it back to what we saw in the first game, the Galio and the Jarvan. But we are loading through into the champ select, so let's see what's going to get taken away here. Twisted Fate, first ban every
Zeri.
game. I am actually fascinated by that one.
Zeri.
Yeah, obviously.
Zeri. So.
Oh,
Oh
Rengar.
yes, of
Oh,
course, of
ICL
course,
plays it.
of course. Yes, I think you have to ban the Rengar because no one else plays it, and you're not getting enough time to actually practice against it against a Rengar one trick. And yes, Rengar one trick. Very high Grandmaster Challenger kind of player is Icy Glaive, so not surprising. That's where the Zeri's gone. That's very surprising because I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, no, it's weird to see blue side ban the Zeri.
Yeah.
Feel that you kind of lose a ban here. And the question is what are you giving up? Because now Flung have just been thrown an extra ban, and they kind of had to waste a ban on that Rengar no matter what. So, maybe it's something like that Caitlyn. We have seen a lot of bans get thrown towards that. The Jinx, the Fresh, there's still plenty of things that you might not want to be giving over as a first pick. The Veigar, interestingly, because that's normally been a blue side ban, so it just feels like these two have switched sides on their bans, and everything's kind of returned to normal going into this last phase.
Okay, so we're expecting probably either a mid laner or a jungler, like Viego Gwen could also be put into these kind of spots. It's going to be Karma. We've seen that be a lot of priority. There are a lot of champions open going into B1. And also for the side of Flong, almost to a point where I would argue, I think you could reasonably not ban a Caitlyn, ban something like a Gwen or a Viego, or even a Victor, and actually just go to London and go, which do you want first? Because we'll take the other two. Like, there are so many options. They go for a center ban. I actually really like this option.
Yeah,
you now just ask London, take your pick. We're the team that are expected to win this. What do you want? They go for the Gwen. It's going to be interesting to see what the response is here. My expectation to set that up, Poppy.
Poppy. I mean, you've been saying it, and I was also saying quite a lot.
I'm waiting for it. It's
Poppy.
so broken right now, but I'm not going to say why until we see it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if it shows up. I picture this to be at least a fresh on the side of Flung. Fresh Jinx is a really nice pick. Or you could go Lulu Jinx if you really want. But I think the fresh is just so nice because of the peel it offers and the engage at the same time. Lulu kind of is more just peel and shield. So let's see what they decide to go for here as that final pick. I really would like it to be Lulu or fresh, leaning more towards the fresh. But then again, they could go towards something like a Xin Zhao. We've seen this as a second ban on red side quite a lot. Actually looking towards maybe something a little bit different here and leaning towards a different jungler, and they're going to lock in the lease. No, there it is.
Oh, there was a bait and switch. Of course it was, mate. You should have kept with your Thresh. I don't even like Lee Sins, by the way, into Gwens, personally. I like them with the Gwen. I don't like them against the Gwen because of the dueling potential that Gwen has, and she can very comfortably 2v1 when Gwen is 16 and like a Lee Sin jungle is like level 13, because that's what happens. Jhin immediately locked in, so we're going to be seeing the standard parity lanes. It's going to be interesting, though, because this is a typical spot where you don't see Leonas come through. You actually see Yumi's. However, Divinus isn't a big Yumi player. I actually once had this guy on a team of mine way years ago. So I actually have an idea of his champion pool. He's hugely about the engage, and his Leona is nothing to be forgotten about because he's dirty on this champion.
Yeah, but Fresh is like a really good matchup into Leona. You just flay her out of the Zenith.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to amp up the player, mate. It's WWE style.
Yeah, true. I mean, you can always just flash stun them, then the flay means nothing at that point, I guess, as well.
That's fair. No, actually, that's real. Viego, though, is going to be locked in, so we've got both the Shadow Isle champions as well going.
I am loving what Flung have put together. I actually think this is already a really nice draft for them. Viego, we didn't really see it get demonstrated in the last game because it kind of just got destroyed, but like actually a really powerful pick. We saw it yesterday in the NLC as well in the main league, and just it's a reset city. It's in team fights. It's super hard to pin down when you've also got the fresh making sure people are getting in and out. Flung are really hard to deal with. Jinx gets resets. You got the lanterns. You got the resets coming in from Viego. Yes, there's a lot of CC when you got the obviously you got the Leona to back that up, but that's a bit of a target ban there in the Cassiopeia going down. And genuinely, Cassiopeia into those three champions, or at least the Leona and the Gwen, really powerful, really good at shutting down with their grounding, makes a big zone control that you can't move through. And it's actually been something we talked a lot about today, and I don't think we've really hit on it, but zone control has been such a big thing. It's why we see the Veigar get consistently banned. It's why the Fresh has been so powerful. It was in the last game, the Zillion bombs made areas where you just couldn't step over without attaching a bomb to yourself and then taking a big chunk of damage. The Yone is another interesting target ban here. Not sure about the ban on it, but we'll see. The final ban's the LeBlanc. That makes a little bit more sense because LeBlanc and Viego also a pretty nasty combo here. I feel like we'll probably just see a normal mid laner at this point. Something like
no. You want Corki here. Corki would be so sick for Flong right now.
Oh, God, Corki's open.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? You're right, Corki is open.
You just snap the Corki, and I love this hover of the Seraphine. You don't have to play it. It'd be fine, actually, if they wanted to. But you just look in Corki, and you just look at the enemy team going, you just banned two mid laners, and you didn't ban the obvious one. You did. Oh, you didn't go for it. You went for the standard idea. No, you should.
Hold on, Corki's. Hold on. Corki's been standard like all split long for like. Corki's been so powerful. We're done with Corki. My relationship with Corki's over. Oriana's
yours might be. Mine's still growing, and I adore him nonetheless. That little Yordle does so much damage at the moment. It won't be. My expected response is going to be something like a Victor.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this Gwen is going jungle then.
Could be mid lane Tryndamere.
Could be
mid. Could be Tryndamere mid. Like genuinely Tryndamere mid's a thing. And actually into Oriana, not bad. You spin over into her face, and Oriana without flash, famously terrible. If you burn that flash early with a nice, like either mid roam or jungle roam, you spin in, smack him up, and then it's gonna be the Tryndamere mid. Or you are right though. Gwen is going jungle, sending the Camille into the top lane. Now this Jinx, that peel we were talking about, just became infinitely harder. Hextech ultimatum, everybody jumps in and just beats up the Jinx. Let's see what the answer is. Okay, that's a way to stop someone jumping in. I don't mind that. Let's see if they have something else in mind though, because I feel the set's probably the best pick up it.
I know.
Oh, it's Riven. What?
They're gonna coin flip this top lane. I did mention it at the beginning. These are two top laners who want to fight it out to the absolute bitter end. The smart play here was either Gragas, like, or what were they? What were they hovering that you said would be a? Yeah, the set. Or the set. Obviously, you can just ult them away and get them and effectively do a similar thing. Riven doesn't make any sense in this comp outside of being a bulk delivery service in assistance with Viego. I mean, if you all just run at them as a 5 unit and your Jinx is just like a character just one champion back in spacing, it kind of works. But then that's just excellent for Gwen and Tryndamere and everything. London have won this draft in my eyes now.
To me, when I look at these comps, I look at London and I'm like, yeah, they were just rolling dice and just seeing what numbers came up, and that's what they were playing. Fløng went, we're playing a really good comp, and then went Riven. I don't understand why the Riven does. I mean, I guess it's strong in lane, but it's versus a Camille who's also strong in lane. I am not like learned enough in top lane matchups to know how Riven Camille goes. So I'm gonna throw you under the bus here. What happened?
My years of watching Box will now pay off in dividends for me here. It's completely skill dependent pre-sticks. It really depends on how good their hands are. If you're picking this into a Camille, I am expecting Fløng's top laner to feel infinitely more confident, right? That this is a confidence-y pick. Like, you feel yourself if you're doing this. But if you're not going to be doing it, they're going Ignite Riven, apparently we're getting from production. So thank you, Reed, for that.
Ignite I assume Camille's got Ignite TP as well. Like, that's my assumption. This is just full ego top lane. What was it?
No, apparently it was Flash.
What?
Reed's telling us.
Okay, all right, that lane's over. Like, genuinely, why are you not running Ignite on Icy Gale here? Because Camille, we saw it actually demonstrated in I think it was Trouble put it really well yesterday. You don't need Flash on Camille. The hook shot's on a 17-second cooldown at level 1. It gives you basically double flash because you get a lot of range on it. It's so powerful. It's so weird to see the flash come in. I guess because of the amount of mobility Riven has, you want that flash just to be able to dodge some of the stuff. But overall, yeah, not particularly keen on the fact that they went flash. I would rather the Ignite.
Yeah, my only assumption is that they went for that is just in case of Viego tanks from coming in. Obviously, like, that could be an awkward spot if you plan for the Riven stun and you see the stun coming out. Then if they haven't got it perfectly coordinated and the Viego stun comes out afterwards, you might be able to flash away, which is not where you could hook shot away. So that's my I'm finding corner case scenarios, as well as also pre-6, obviously you could expect at least one roam from Thresh to the top side potentially. So that's another reason to do it. I'm finding the scenarios, I don't think they're going to happen, though, and it just feels like they're playing with the summoner down. I still agree with you, though, Hitrain. As we see our junglers come out, is going to be a bunch of assistance, obviously, for this Gwen in the bot side, going to be going red up to the top. Viego actually is matching, probably going to have similar jungling paths going bot side, and if we have a look at all of the summoners, all of the spells coming out, we've got Grass, which is very standard, for obviously, for Camille's. Whereas on the other side, this Riven has gone Conqueror. Like, it's got to be damage, and one of them is not quite like the other.
No, not at all. But I feel like Riven probably wants, like, all of her spells to be able to win this lane.
Yes.
Riven famously, very long cooldowns on her abilities. So early, I think, probably wants level 3. So you can get the full combo off. And this is what I was talking about. You literally spin into the Orianna with full Fury, and Ori can only walk away. She just can't handle this at all. It's a really rough matchup. It's actually similar into the Victor lanes as well when you play Tryndamere mid.
It is, absolutely. And she had to go Ghost as well just to be able to actually have the opportunity to get away when Tryndamere pops his Ghost, so she can pop their Ghost and the Robot Lady can successfully get out. But it's not a spot you want to be in when you're having to take a summoner in a defensive state. Actually, rather similar to Icy Gale.
Do you know what the really big brain ban was as well? London banned or LeBlanc. LeBlanc actually smashes this lane. It's such a hard lane for Tryndamere to play.
Oh,
it's such a big brain ban.
But they blind picked it. That was the issue that they had. They just blind picked the Orianna and then just got responded with the Tryndamere. So
Yeah.
I mean, do you think if they actually had the opportunity? But then if you go Corki, I still feel like you have a better time into this lane if they decide to
Corki
go
definitely better than Ori in this matchup. Absolutely,
Yeah.
because you got the Valkyrie, so you can just jump away. He spins in, you jump out. It's infinitely better. But I actually don't know if they would. I don't know Errol's champ pool enough to know
Oh no,
if he's taking that up. But Vangstead,
he's got flash.
getting jumped onto. Ignite be damned. Vangstead able to jump away though with the broken wings.
But now the Void's been put in an awful spot and they're going to be able to have a slow push going into Icy Gale. This is actually devastating now for Vangest. He's now going to be down on levels. He's going to be having his wave being pushed into him. And he's now going to be screaming for his jungler to come and assist him to escort this in. The problem is he's down bot side and they just forced the TP bot. So now he's going to have to rotate it back around to top. But this is awful because the flash actually worked out opportunistically. Which was not how this was all meant to go, because Icy Gale isn't going to let this wave crash in. They're just going to keep letting this go. So Riven's going to go from having less CS to worse CS.
Sad times.
Yep. They still get to bully, obviously.
This is going to be a really rough match. I just don't get the Riven, man.
I mean, I've watched Box, and it's fun in solo queue to get like the kind of 2-3v1s, which is what Riven offers you, but you had to TP back to lane, you almost died, your wave's in a pretty awful place, and yeah, you're able to get some form of a shove, but I mean, it's not like any other part of the map is really winning for you guys. Like, you can't really say 5 CS or 6 CS in the bot lane is like a winning territory.
No, I completely agree. We have got this dragon spawning up fairly soon. Neither bot lane really has like enough priority for a jungler just to confidently go and take that, so maybe we'll see a bit of a scrap for jungle presence, but Shafty's actually moved up to the top side of the map and is looking to just try and get a full clear on downwards, while it looks like actually Donlossi is also doing a similar thing on the Gwen. It feels like out of all of our games, but have been very scrappy and very chaotic, this is the first time where it's not been that chaotic. Now, they have been spotted out there, but Mortifer just has way more control. And Errol is going to try and roam over, so Shafty will be okay to pick up the chicken camp without losing anything.
Yeah.
But just that threat, that fear that could come through.
And Shafty actually has
also playing very far up in the lane.
Yeah, and he actually has this whole bot side river to still farm out. Like, he has opportunities, so he's got a lot of CS and farm to go grab around the map, which, while the Gwen does have that same kind of opportunity open to you, where it's nowhere near as much power, it's nowhere near as much experience, and if you look at where the Viego is currently pathing, it actually lines up perfectly to go and take this first dragon.
Yeah, it does look like that'll probably be the game plan as well, because Dunlossie not in the area. We'll see, though, depending on the kind of lane state. I think bot is pushing heavily enough, and now Errol's done a pretty good job of getting pressure in this lane. Although Mortifer now has 6 and Ghost, and Errol's out of mana. So this might just be a dead robot, if I'm going to be real with you. Pops his own Ghost. Mortifer held their Ghost, so now Errol kind of just gets a freebie later.
Yeah, but their bot lane is first one. Their enemy side has been pushed in, so they're going to just have to give over this dragon. It's a cloud dragon, so you can sleep okay at night losing this one. This isn't going to haunt you. Though it is a first one. Second one's going to be Infernal, which is really cool to see. Rift Herald will be coming up pretty soon, so that's going to be a huge priority. It's going to be interesting to see which of these two bot lanes are actually going to get first priority over to this, and who's really controlling, because obviously bot lane is currently being controlled by this Riven, just doing what Riven does and has to hard push. I mean, Icy Gale has just been very comfortably just farming under Tyra and keeping it at a spot where they can just keep going. And look at this. Look at that grasp healing. Oh, so good.
That was nasty. Divinus jumps in. They find themselves the Deadly Flourish. And this might just be first blood. Not able to connect it yet. The Ignite's burning the root. Blue buff almost finished the job. And now Shafty looking to turn it around. First blood to Guff.
Huge.
Just like that. London need to limp away.
Look at Tryndamere, though.
Running amok, looking for Rotten Bengi. Trying to
He's
get in.
got
There's Mortifer able to find the kill. Ultimate's worn out. Spins out to safety. Not going to find the damage. Shafty jumping in. KZ has got that 4th shot. And Shafty jumps underneath the tower. And now Shafty might be in trouble. Slowed down. KZ just needs to find the reload. Can't get in time. And they only get the 1 in response.
Yeah, and Jim was also in a really awkward spot because moving forward, it looks great, right? You want to keep moving forward. The issue is it's a Viego, so at any moment he can just ult straight on top of your face, QE, and then you're just like, ah, yeah, I forgot. Viego has a bunch of damage on top of also just stealing my support's body to just kind of use as he please as a custom sleeve just to make him feel good. Doesn't have that opportunity, and we're going to see more fighting in this top lane. But hey, Icy Gale's been doing this all game, and he's actually pulled out to a CS advantage of almost 2 waves at this point.
Yeah, that was that's the power of the Camille. Just hook shot. It doesn't matter how like that was knock up and stun from Vangstead, but the E was cast first, so they're just out. And like you said, building up a pretty big lead. ICL's been pretty heavily shoved as well. Vangstead is playing very aggressive in the lane, very forward, and hasn't really been able to gain too much with that. I want to talk scaling here because I feel like Riven doesn't outscale the Camille, but I'm not 100% sure.
Nope, not by any stretch. Obviously, Rivens typically have okay to decent scaling. The part of the reason that you play Riven is just her base stats are pretty decent. So that's the reason you would typically do it. It's really funny, though, because if you ask me, I would have preferred that Aatrox here, but Divinifer's getting engaged on.
Yep, I think Divinus might just die here to play back, and Guff.
That's awkward.
Gets a speed boost, and KZ is going to have to run underneath his tower to safety, losing half his health. They've still got the rocket. They've almost got Ignite, actually, on Rotebenge. So there's potential for a kill onto KZ if he hangs around.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, the Gwen has had to come along and actually escort and just kind of hover in spot just in case something really bad happens. Divinus is actually rotating around, and I think this is an important spot because this is the first Rift Herald, remember, right? So they've been able to secure it. The issue is Divinus kind of went up and is now kind of like, you just got that, so there's not really a reason for me to go over there. My jungler wasn't there as well, so chance of contesting, I kind of wanted to ward it. The side of London are just losing more and more like small things around the map. While this top lane hasn't been a hemorrhaging point, and honestly, I thought it was going to be a fireworks setting point, but oh my god, Gwen's here.
Nice hook into the rocket. Guff's able to dunk for the kill. Guff needs to get out. The traps are down, and Divinus has been zoned away. Flung able to find himself a lovely couple of kills in the bot lane, and this is the first Jinx we've seen get fed in lane. So we'll see what they can do with it, because Jinx, if she scales, if she gets into that game, gets really problematic and hard to deal with.
But that hasn't been... Well, this is going to be the first one we're going to be seeing. I'm excited to see it. We almost saw a comeback potential of a Jinx, but multiple times throughout these plays, the Jinx getting the kills and getting excited actually allowed them to get out of that one. The extra excited boost allowed them to immediately run and grab the lantern, get out of that play, and actually turn it into a scenario where... if the side of London kept pushing in and actually following them, I'm actually pretty sure an excited Jinx with a Thresh wins that fight. So pretty well played from the side of Flung on multiple different aspects. And the fact that that vision is still there and has been for about 5 minutes is tilting. No other word. I get tilted by stupid stuff sometimes, Hitrain. You're just gonna have to learn this, mate.
Understandable. Vangstead taking a fight with AC Gale, but
oh, Vinod's found it.
Bit, like, without a misplay, neither of these top laners should be going down. There's enough mobility and like safety for both of them. It's heavy trading, but it just feels like actually killing them is fairly hard. Guff picking up a bunch of tower plates for himself, and ooh, Vangstead. ICL might be playing the bait game here, knowing that the Dunlossi's in the area, and the recall's going to get used, and London not even going to check. Just going to hard shove this wave in.
And I love this.
Vangstead's out.
Yeah, Vangstead understanding completely that he is the one point on this map where the objectives, it makes complete sense. Think about it. Bot lane just got first tower, a bunch of gold through that Herald, and they just got a dragon. It's okay, Vangstead. You might have been the player that really wanted to be the power point on this team with this Riven pick. You can just go, okay, mate, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I will play for the team. We've got a 3-0 Jinx at the moment. Why take a risk? Why put an opportunity out for the enemy team? No, just stay back. We've now got about 2.5k gold lead. Let's just play through that. Let's just play through this Jinx who's got a Gale Force. We're on the enemy side. He's like 20 CS down and still also struggling to find the same amount of gold that this Jinx has been funneled into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't lose it. Be passive.
Well, one thing actually we haven't really hit on is the fact that Flung are just stacking dragons up. They've got 2 dragons already. Today has been very fast dragon souls coming in consistently every game. Like teams
one of them we didn't even get them.
As they spawn. Guff. There's no lantern, so he does need to be quite careful here. Rotabenge used that just to potentially pull Shafty in. They picked the plate up, though, and they're okay with that.
I was a little bit worried. Benki had also thrown out that lantern down to their own feet, and I was kind of like, oh, that could be an awkward spot. Thankfully,
I'm
though,
assuming they tried to lantern over the wall, potentially, to get vision.
Yeah, to get the vision, yeah.
And it whiffed.
It's okay. I mean, they are able to try and secure something here. They got at least one turret plating, and we know that Guff has probably had at least 4, if not 5 turret platings at minimum thrown into them. They're getting another one. It's just so much gold being funneled into this Jinx, and hey, that's a very strong win condition, and you can just have it play side lane. You can just have this Riven play side lane for as long as possible. Riven works perfectly fine in a 5v5, by the way. If you land like a 2-3 man stun, you're probably going to win that fight.
Oh, Vangstead, I don't think you do all that well versus the Tryndamere. Did pop the ultimate there, and Guff. Are they going to get this plate? I don't think they are.
No.
But they almost got another plate. There's just so much gold, like you said, being funneled into the Jinx. I don't think Guff wants to reset. I think Guff feels quite happy and is doing a really good job for the team because they're constantly keeping 2 to 3 people up in the top side of the map. Vangstead actually taking the 1v1 versus Mortifer, but Mortifer has the ultimate, and Vangstead going to get run over. The immortality coming in real big. Will fall down as that final tower shot will seal the deal. Vangstead answers back with their own kill.
Yeah, and I mean, what's really important about that one is the Ignite went really down early, prevented any of that extra healing that this Tryndamere was expecting to get, and because of that, they weren't allowed it, but look at this, Icy Gale.
Lovely Gale Force, lovely Flay. Rotabenge flashes out, they use the Solar Flare. The Fresh will be forfeit, but Divinus almost goes down to the rocket. Flung. 2 versus 3 do fall, but it's getting real hairy now. They're trying to get a bunch of damage onto Icy Gale. Icy Gale getting fired back onto the teleport means Vangstead is here. Guff feels comfortable to continue this.
Yeah, but Guff, you've got no mana, man, and you've got probably a lot of standing gold. If we can get our observer to ping that over for us as we go into this replay first to find out how this went so bad for Shafty.
There you got 4-man, 3-man. There you go.
That would explain as we come in. Yeah, he's got 1,000 gold, 1,500 gold just chilling in his back pocket at the moment. He has gold sitting on him, needs to go back, is thankfully doing so as they actually brute force down that turret as they had to have Icy Gale reset. They're still yet to use it, have Flung. They haven't lost a single tower.
Oh, they're jumping in. Vangstead, caught out, jumps over the wall to safety. But KZ's in the area with that deadly flourish. Just needs to land a great side step in. 2-man shockwave. KZ eats the hook, and down he goes. Shafty finds the kill. So 1 for 1 so far, but the health bars on London are low. Shafty trying to reset through this fight. This is what we see so many times from the Viego. Flat. Zenith Blade locked down into the slows, into the Heartbreaker. It's a double kill for Errol, and 4 members of London fall.
The most impressive part of all of that, Jinx wasn't involved. That's the craziest part of all of it. So much of the gold that the side of Flung have thrown into this is into that Jinx. They won a 4v5 without them. Well, it was a 4v4 because the Tryndamere was staying bot side. But the Tryndamere out of all of this just gets another turret, gets their first turret. Great. That is not worth 4 members of your team, sadly. And you know what? They've set up perfectly around this, and death times are actually going to be affecting this because the Tide of London aren't going to be able to get out in time. Dragon's
yeah,
up.
I mean, interestingly enough, it's the Day of Mountains. Guff with a great cleanse and Gale Force, that's the name of the item, to get out. Shafty pops the Heartbreaker. Flay a little bit slow. Shafty may just lose his life here, but he's able to survive for a little bit longer. And just like that, with the Honey Fruit, they're able to heal back up. Mortifer has to jump out with the spin.
Mortifer still has ult.
Oh, hold on. Mortifer taking a lot of damage. Does have the ultimate available. Dragon's been pulled out. London looking to close in.
Oh, he's had to pop the ult, Mortimer.
Oh, that is unlucky. That is not what they need. Shockwave available on Errol. Look at London all grouped up. That is the dream for an Orianna. Not even going to give him the opportunity. Dragon number 3 for the side of Flung. And Errol might just chase for Mortifer here. Has the Shockwave. Only lands it onto 1. Divinus going to look to lock them in place. Zenith Blade forward. Errol going to get slowed down. And Errol, that's the 3rd kill for them. Easy peasy.
Divinus is just not having a great game. Keeps getting caught out in random spots, but it all comes back and stems back to this fight around the side where they went on to Vangstead. And the fact is, Riven's pretty difficult to get on top of. Fantastic ball carrier earlier, and they just destroyed multiple members of London at the very beginning of this fight. The Gwen doesn't go down immediately. The fact is, they were able to take over so many, and Shafty is a master at almost every champion. Every time he gets this Leona, I'm going to have to ask him if we have an interview with him. He wants a support main, because these Leonas been clean.
Landing them consistently. Really nice stuff from Shafty, and the big thing is everyone is showing up for the side of Flung.
Yeah.
Seeing some amazing hooks from Rotabenge, some great peel, and the flays have mostly been on par. Guff has been playing very, very well. Errol's had a fantastic game. Shafty, we're seeing teamfight after teamfight being a real nuisance. Yeah, Vangsteg's playing the Riven. That's, you know, we'll talk about that later. It's not been terrible.
No, and absolutely, you know what? Sometimes when you lose or you don't win as expected, they're doing it gracefully, I believe is the terminology that we typically do. It's with honor. It's with pride. Like, you understand the scenario you've been put into. Don't worry about it, mate. Don't feed, and the rest of your team will carry you. Flung have absolutely done that one.
Mortifer's looking for Errol here, going to try and slow him down. The Ghost gets off the shockwaves down, and they're spinning and winning away. Mortifer will just about survive that dive. But Errol had to pop both summoner spells. Meanwhile, two members pulled towards the bottom side of the map, and Flung are just going, all right, take your bot lane, top lane.
Yeah, and just like that, it's gone. Dusted. And look at this. Mortifer is already having to reset and go back, but he wants to go back, but he couldn't. He got stopped by this Orianna. So now they're just going to crash.
They might crack the base here. Vangsted's going to hang around. The traps go down. The tower will hold for now. As Vangsted's jumped onto, here's the hook. Here's the solar flare. Vangsted will fall. Only the one kill, though, for the side of London.
That was a little awkward, I'm not going to lie. There's playing a line, and every team fight you have a line. That one, they crossed it. They went a little bit too aggressive. Vangsted, you also don't have a stopwatch. Now, I actually like the idea or philosophy that Vangsted was showing there with going so far forward. You want to stopwatch almost immediately, though. Didn't have that opportunity. Important thing to note, though, this Tryndamere has had to pop their ultimate throughout all of this engaging and fighting in the bot side that he's been doing with this Orianna, so going to be important. Errol is having an okay time. Hasn't got much mana, so we'll have to reset. But look, both of our mid laners have just had to reset, and they just moved lanes to keep playing against one another.
20 minutes on the clock. The gold lead is 4,000, the side of Flung. Dragon spawning up in 2 minutes' time. That's going to be the big one here. Guff, you know, pretty impressive early game. It's been relatively quiet since then, just kind of farming up a storm.
Look at Shafty's gold.
I believe we've either got the Hurricane or it's very close. Or no, the Rapid Fire, isn't it? On Guff.
Yeah, look at Guff and Shafty's gold comparison to the enemy counterparts. 1k gold lead for Shafty, 3k gold lead for Guff, and it's just gonna get worse from here. Like, this is not good comeback territory, especially when even not your mid lane is super far ahead.
Oh my word, Vangsted used everything and barely hurt Icy Gale.
Everything but his ultimate, so we can do it again.
That was just not enough damage.
No, it wasn't. It was like no damage.
Had a full combo to do more, and then Icy Gale just queued him and made the trade equal.
Yeah, Camille, passive, pretty strong sometimes, just preventing and building those shields and just going, I don't want to take it. I just don't want to take your damage. And then suddenly Riven goes, oh, I'm not mixed damage, so this is awkward. And yeah, hey-ho. Sava, you just kind of go on with it as we look more around this map. 40 minutes on this Dragon. Baron is open, and that is an opportunity for London. If they have to just look at it and go, well, I think you guys are just going to take Soul, that's an option, but this Orianna's in a very interesting spot.
Well, looking to actually jump onto Mortifer. Got back up from Shafty coming in. Mortifer's going to spin into Errol's face as Shafty's making his way over. They haven't got the CC. The stopwatch gets used. The Undying Rage ain't going to be enough here. Shafty finds the kill. 13 seconds before Dragon, though. He has to book it bot lane. Actually, it's only a Mountain Soul, so realistically, not that impressive. Might as well go Baron.
Yeah, and you actually brought this up in one of our previous games. Mountain this early on it's fine, but it's not a game changer. It's not a game ender like Infernal or Hextech can be. Do you know what is an ender buff? Baron buff. Why not just take it? Yeah, they can have a little bit of the objective bounty gold. That's fine, but we now get to shove in at least one of these lanes, if not two. Orianna's split off. She's going to push the lane and top side, and now the side of Fløng are going to be looking to figure out which angles after a reset do we want to be going for? My assumption is brute force down mid. I mean, that's just the easy one, right?
Yeah, I think that probably will just be the game plan as well. Maybe send Vangstead into the bot lane, which looks like that's what they're doing. Top lane's pretty
Agreed.
hard because that tier 1's or tier 2, sorry, is already gone down. Try and just use this Baron to just secure the gold lead. The gold lead's already pretty big, but you can really secure a massive lead at this point using this Baron. And they've got the wave in their favor in a good spot. Shafty just going to pop the trap. And KZ, you know, Jin struggles with the wave clear.
Oh,
He's able to do a little bit because that wave was already fairly weak and trimmed through, but the tower will still go down. So now that's only one tier 2 turret standing outside the base. As Vangstead, yeah, Vangstead's doing what we expected the Riven to do. Not a lot.
Yeah, but it comes back around. It's like, okay, cool, you killed the Riven. Now, is this going to affect the team of Fløng to a point where they're not going to want to push anymore? At the moment, it actually seems like it's actually going to do that exact job. So, if this Baron, they can't
Are
find
you
a
sure about that?
But
Yes.
it's onto Divinus, but so that's not the
Solar
one you
flare?
want onto.
Oh, they got everything. Guff actually jumps in as the Gale Force back, but look at the rocket damage. He's got the Infinity Edge. A lot of damage coming out. The rocket comes in from downtown.
Oh, the
Shockwave
jinx.
forward. Guff is trying to reset, but he can't get close enough. They're finding the shutdowns.
Oh,
Left, right,
yeah.
and center. Shafty stealing forms after form after form. Double kill, triple kill. Shafty is going to get taken down. We were so close to the Penta, but the damage from Icy Gale just way too big. It's the ace for London.
Yeah, I'm getting straight on top of both of the carries for the side of Fløng. Definitely put them in an awkward spot. Shafty absolutely played carry role, though, and said, hey, I'll still find some cleanup for you all. Don't worry about it. But the fact is, Jinx wasn't able to actually get onto Reset City and get excited, which was a huge issue for them there.
I mean, when we get the replay, I can show you the moment that like entire thing was lost. Icy Gale's going to take the tower. Vangstead can't do anything about it. But there was the moment Guff took the lantern, it was doomed. As Vangstead actually might have this. He has the ignite. Wait, Riven does damage?
He popped his ult this time. He also has a Black Cleaver. He can actually chain through all of this armor. So, yeah, that's the bigger issue. I was going to say it's the ult. Nah, it's not.
The Cleaver, definitely.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I was surprised by how much that Wind Slash did, to be fair. All right, so look at this. Lantern into the Solar Flare comes out from Guff. He's scared of his positioning. And there. Into the team has to Gale Force back, and then it's like there's no Gale Force, so Guff is just playing a lot more scared.
Yeah, the fact is also, like, his whole backline got deleted, his front line got deleted, and it just is really hard to play this fight when you're put in an awkward spot. I do completely agree with you. Probably not taking that Lantern would have been better.
I think that Jin actually was why Shafty wasn't able to do much, because he spent too long casting his W. And then she lost his entire health. That fight was really interesting to break down, actually. I'd like to watch that again at some point.
It's the kind of one where if we had a proper desk segment, we could, like, actually do epic pen stuff and do some cool stuff.
that is genuinely a really interesting fight. Anyway,
but
Guff's going to eat a full-on Solar Flare, and he's going to get jumped onto. The Shockwave to keep him alive for a little bit. Tries to Gale Force back, but Icy Gale will pop in with the I delete you button. Errol's going to find himself a kill, and now Shafty chases forward, uses the slow. Icy Gale slowed down by the Heartbreaker as well, but they continue to chase forward. Here comes the Spectral Maw. Can't quite connect. Chasing forward even more. They got more speed up on Icy Gale. He's strong. But Shafty is stronger as Errol secures the kill. Meanwhile, the rest of the team are going to take the inhibitor. It's only Dunlosty, and it is only Divinus left. The death timers are still relatively long. KZ, 13 seconds still is up. I don't think that Fløng are going to win the game off this, but they can reset for the Baron.
Absolutely, they can reset for that Dragon. And not only that, what it puts them in is there wasn't an opportunity, though, for Gwen and Leona to actually go on top of Thresh and Riven. There was level disparity there. There was actual item and damage disparity. Level 16 Riven is no joke. You do not want to just go, yeah, it's only a Riven that's been not doing a lot. It's fine. She's 2 items now. She's got that Black Cleaver. She actually does damage, but if you catch her out like here, you can still kill her.
Yeah, I Vangstead when he took that third kill, I was a little bit a bit worried. Using the Lantern, using the hook, they're using the turnaround. Divinus gets chunked, but only a little bit of damage as Icy Gale also getting chunked out by Shafty. This is actually pretty big here for Fløng. They do a lot of damage to London United members. And now London United have to be very, very careful moving towards this Dragon.
Look at this Tryndamere. They're trying to cut around the side, but I mean, they need to find a flank, and it's all gonna have to be on Icy Gale. Oh,
Rangstead?
but he's still living.
Again, kind of just getting caught out. I'm not sure what that was. Nice wind slash, but
Yeah,
they
but look.
answer out with a kill onto the side of Guff. Here they go, Shockwave in. Divinus going to take a lot of damage, and that is the double kill for the Jinx. We're looking for the triple kill potentially here. If the rocket comes in, that's going to be a kill stolen away by Shafty. 3 members of London United fall down, and the Dragon is all but secured to the side of Flung. They might not even be bothered about it. They may just try and take the base.
Yeah, they can actually push here. Look at the death timers. That's like 30 seconds on some of these members still. They can absolutely push. And the thing is, if London don't reset quick enough, look at the Tryndamere. He hasn't had an opportunity yet. He hasn't even filled up to full health yet.
It's got the reset. Icy Gale might just look for Errol, though. Gonna look to put the ball down. Stopwatch is there. Zap in for the slow. Errol should finish this one up. Mortifer has not got the ultimate. Does not have the ultimate. Divinus is back up, and they're using the solar flare onto Guff, trying to keep him pinned. Towers up, and here comes the curtain call from KZ. Errol going to try and block a little bit of this damage for Guff. Guff able to survive. They land themselves the snare on to Rotebenge. Rotebenge flashes out for the moment. Divinus chasing away, and Flung can't close this game out. The towers will stand, but the shockwave into the hook! That's the opening they needed. Guff's going to get jumped on, uses the stopwatch. Rotebenge can't save the day here, but the rest of the team are going to get run through. Mortifer finds himself a triple kill, looking for maybe that quadra kill. On to Shafty. Shafty stealing forms, left, right, and center. It's a double kill picked up. Mortifer will fall down as Shafty finds his own triple. It's the ace for the side of Flung. London United only have Icy Gale to work with, and Vanstead will look to try and find a little bit of damage to set Shafty up to finish this one off. Tower number 2 is under fire right now as Icy Gale is doing his damnedest to hold on. Vanstead will not fall to the tower. Shafty steals the forms and will take down the tower. The Nexus has been laid bare as Flung, 29 minutes into this game, will be able to close this game out. KZ can do nothing.
And what a performance from Flung. Shafty especially, take a bow. It felt like it was going to be a Guff carry game. It felt like that Jinx was going to have it. But it seems like Shafty had other ideas, and also the fact that how Mortimer played in this game, or Mortified rather, played this game on that Tryndamere, always jumping straight onto the Jinx, because that's the hyper carry, that's the Fed 1. Shafty just always being able to clean up these fights afterwards became a huge hemorrhaging problem for London, and, well, found the win.
Very long extended fights is where Viego excels. He loves to be able to get these long fights. You get the resets, you get the heal, you get the abilities, you get, you just get a full refresh on your cast bar because you get a bunch of abilities back. Absolutely beautiful play there from Shafty on that Viego. And I mean, Guff did have an amazing game as well. I think the whole team were completely on fire there.
Yeah.
Won't talk about the Riven. I think we'll leave that one. But anyway, we are going to throw to a quick break. When we're back, we'll do some interviews after that game. So we'll see you in a moment.